everybody, welcome to another episode of Milwaukee Beer Review. I'm Josh.
I'm Ross.
And today we've got some great new beer from a series that is bourbon barrel aged imperial stouts from Third Space Brewing Company here in Milwaukee. So this is the Mocha Pie series. And we're really excited to bring this out to the community. So this is one of two videos where we're going to be reviewing these beers. Now, Third Space Brewing Company opened up in 2016. They have one location on St. Paul Avenue in Milwaukee. Really great location. They've got some great stuff on tap there all the time. You can order to go, all kinds of good stuff. And they've got some other interesting things similar to other breweries in the area. You can join kind of their VIP club, which is their, kind of third space club for VIPs. Similar stuff. You can get early access to beers, other things like that. So if you're interested in that, feel free to join. We are not sponsored by Third Space. Therefore, we are not VIPs or in their club, but we've got some great beers here on tap for you. This is an interesting series. So what's kind of interesting about it is they decided to take this concept of a mocha pie. I've never actually had a mocha pie before.
I don't think I have either, actually.
Which is kind of an interesting concept. But they took all these different adjuncts for a bourbon barrel-aged stout, and they built it out over time. So every single beer that we review is going to be one component of that until we get to the final component, which is the full mocha pie, which is every single adjunct that we're trying as this beer builds, all in one beer. So it's kind of an interesting way to do this.
I saw what Third Space is doing. I'll be honest, it was one of those things. Like I didn't know how to feel about it, so I wasn't sure where to go with this. And kudos to you, because as you're going to learn as we kind of talk about this, these were not released like all as a one-time thing. They were released over a set number of times, and everything. So kudos to you for going out there and grabbing them and everything.
Over several months, I was constantly going back and forth to Third Space to get these.
It was a really cool concept how they did it. And I thought that was very cool by Third Space and how they did it. It's unique and something I have not seen in this market, in this style that they've done. So
They call it a deconstructed dessert. So they took this mocha pie concept and they split it out into all these different beers and then had one final big hurrah with all of them combined. So the first one that we have is actually their base. So this is the base bourbon barrel-aged stout. This is pretty high up there on the ABV scale.
I was very surprised to see the number on this.
13.5%. So this is not a mess around beer, right? So 13.5% aged 6 months in bourbon barrels. We don't know what style of bourbon barrels these were aged in. So Third Space, if you've got some thoughts there, feel free to chime in, throw it in the comments. But we'd love to know. This was released actually on November 15th, so around Black Friday time frame. Interesting story behind this. I got like the last 4-pack of this that was even available. They like accidentally posted it on the website, and I got the first iteration of it. So we are going to try their first, the base beer here first as part of the series. So
let's get into it.
All right.
Let's get this one open. So we've done a lot of stouts. I don't expect anything overly different from what we've done in the past. Maybe a little darker, a little more chocolatey. Yeah. Not as much head, but about what you expect out of a imperial stout.
Pretty standard.
Pretty standard. Not a ton of carbonation. It does tend to dissipate pretty quick. Nice dark color. But no, it looks like what we're kind of expecting out of this.
Not a lot of head. Pretty standard bourbon barrel-aged stout.
So.
All right, Ross, let's get a little nose on this thing. Interesting. Not a ton of bourbon on the nose for the base.
There's a smell, there's a distinct smell, and I don't know what it is. I'm trying to figure out that, but
it's there. It's almost a little smoky.
Yeah.
Like almost a little bit smoky on the nose.
A little chocolatey. I mean, a little bitterness from the chocolate.
I'm not getting much of that, but a little bit smoky imperial stout scent on the nose is what I'm getting.
This is one, the smell's not giving off a lot, so I'm very curious from a taste standpoint where we're going with it. So,
keeping in mind this is the base, so let's give it a shot.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Ooh. A lot more bourbon on the mouthfeel, on the palate, on the front end of this beer than I was expecting based on what I got on the nose.
Yeah,
I'm still on the nose. I'm not getting a lot of bourbon, but on the front end of the beer, I'm getting a decent amount of bourbon.
I'm just gonna be flat out. This one's confusing me. It tastes good. I enjoy the taste. It's good. I don't know exactly what the smell or the taste I'm getting off of it is, but it's tasty. I enjoy it. And 13.5%. I would not guess this is 13.5%. I don't feel it's a overly boozy, overly heavy beer in any way, shape, or form.
I don't know. I'm getting a decent amount of booze off of this. Like I can tell this is a little bit higher ABV. The smell though does not correlate to what I'm getting on the beer from a taste perspective. Okay. As I'm tasting this, I'm getting a lot more solid beer. Like the nose on this does not do, I think, what the base beer. It doesn't do the base beer justice.
Yeah,
quite frankly. Other than that, it's pretty standard from a bourbon barrel aged perspective.
Yeah.
I mean,
a little sweeter.
It's a little bit sweeter. It's got a little more bourbon bite to it to me than a standard, some of the other beers we've tried.
Yeah.
But this is pretty standard from that perspective. Yeah, it's decent. It's good.
So looking at this within this series, and obviously we have to start somewhere, so this is the base. So to look at this in the series, I'm going to give it about, on a scale of 5, about 3.75. I'm giving it 3.75. It's good. I'm giving myself some room to improve. I guess that's how I kind of look at this. I'm enjoying it. It's tasteful. I can see myself ordering this and drinking this, but I don't want to go too high because I don't know what the rest of the series is going to bring me, and I want to give myself some room to improve.
Yeah, the outlook to this is we know this is a series beer. This is not just a single release, so I think we've got to give it a little wiggle room to move. I hate to be right along with you, but my initial gut reaction was a 3.75 too. I mean, this is a decent beer. I would definitely drink this. Mm-hmm. Like I said, the nose doesn't do this beer justice in my opinion. So definitely try it. Don't just smell it. Although, who's buying a beer to smell it and not drink it? I mean,
weird.
It'd be weird.
Yeah,
it'd be weird.
Yeah, don't do that.
But a solid beer overall. I'd put this at a 3.75.
Yeah. Good start. I mean, very good start. I'm very curious where we're going to go from here. So, next, we got number 2. It is the chocolate variation of the same beer. It's again, we're coming at 13.5 ABV. It was aged again 6 months in the bourbon barrels. And this was released on November 27th, so we're talking right after Thanksgiving, about a couple weeks after the original base variant. But again, it's just a bourbon barrel aged, but it's got some chocolate, so it's cacao, chocolate and everything added to it. So this is the chocolate part of the Mocha Pie. So interesting how this is going to taste. So why don't we get into it?
First adjunct. Let's get it in the glass.
All right, let's get this one open. We're going to see the same thing probably we saw with the last one.
Probably all 6.
Yeah, nice dark color. Try to pour it a little bit more down the center. See if we can get a little more carbonation head out of these.
A little more head on that.
Yeah. But no, looks good.
Pretty standard dark.
Excited to get this one.
All right. Let's get a little nose on this thing. Now this has got chocolate.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see. Not a significant difference on the nose immediately. I'm getting a little bit more chocolate sweetness, I think, than on the nose of the original beer, but still kind of that same, almost off note to the beer on the nose.
In fairness, when you have a barrel aged stout, you tend to get even just your standard barrel aged stout, you get even if it's not there, some chocolate notes and some chocolate kind of tinge to it. So I'm not surprised. I didn't expect too much difference here with the chocolate one.
Yeah, definitely. I can tell that this is different. There's a little bit of chocolate on the nose.
Yeah.
But, based on what we saw from the first one, I'm expecting to taste more than what I'm smelling. Yeah. So let's give it a go.
All right, cheers, buddy.
Oh my God!
That's surprising.
By the way, we lost our
see
logo,
that. Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah.
There's way more chocolate.
Yeah.
There's way more chocolate in this beer in the notes that I'm getting on the front and the back end than I ever would have imagined from the smell.
And the crazy thing is when you get a lot of chocolate stouts, the biggest concern I get with chocolate stouts is the bitterness that ends up coming through. And you're not getting the bitterness. It's a nice, sweet, tame chocolate taste to this one that you don't normally get with chocolate stouts or chocolate barrel-aged beers.
I'm actually impressed.
This is very good.
Like, a lot of times you get into these barrel-aged beers and they're like, oh, this is the chocolate variant.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, yeah, there's going to be some sweetness. The Imperial Stout chocolate notes will be amplified a little bit. Like, this tastes like chocolate.
Yeah.
Like, it tastes like chocolate.
Yeah.
It really does.
So this is where a 13.5% becomes dangerous. Because it doesn't taste like 13.5%. Like, this is something that, I'll order 3 of these. And then all of a sudden you find out the third one's 13.5 and you're getting a lift home.
Wow. Like milk chocolate. Like, not like dark chocolate, not super bitter. Like milk chocolate is what I get on this. Definitely the bourbon's there. It was heavy in the first one too. I felt that. This one has that too, but definitely like a chocolate iteration of it.
Yeah.
It's really solid.
It's really good.
Like, I'm blown away by the fact that the nose on this beer, so third space, like, I don't know what's going on with the nose on this beer, but the actual flavor profile of this beer is fantastic.
Yeah,
so
I would agree.
It blows my mind that the flavor profile is so different from the nose.
Yeah.
Like,
so, again, we're looking at this one, looking within the series of the beer. I put the base at 3.75. Looking at this, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I'm giving it a 4.25. I'm giving myself some room to still grow and still be good, but this is very good. And this is I'm not going to call it pleasant surprise from the first variation of the base beer, but I don't normally enjoy chocolate stouts all that much. This is very good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, very chocolatey. I'm going to put this at a 4, just slightly under you, only because I do think it's an improvement on the base. I'm surprised by how much chocolate is in it. I wouldn't put it quite up, lurching towards that 5 mark.
Mm-hmm.
I would put it around a 4. I'm really excited to see where the rest of this beer heads, but I'd put it at a 4.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
What do we get next?
So the third one in this series is going to be the Mocha Pie Vanilla. So if you've had a vanilla stout in the past or a vanilla bourbon barrel-aged stout, that's kind of my wheelhouse.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to the vanilla. If you've ever had Bourbon County's vanilla, I've heard it's fantastic. I know you've had it.
It's amazing. It's such a good beer.
So I'm really excited to see what this is, especially at this high of an ABV.
Yeah.
Based on what I just got from the chocolate, I'm super excited to see what happens with the vanilla.
As we've talked about in previous videos, like we tend to both kind of gravitate towards that vanilla taste that's on the back end of some of our bourbon stouts and everything. So yeah, I completely agree. I think this is one where we have high expectations on this one, so I'm very curious how this one's going to taste.
Yeah, same thing as the rest, 13.5%. This thing was released on December 12th of 2020. So the only difference between this and the other beers, this one was aged with vanilla beans. So let's get it in the glass and give it a shot.
All right, let's get this one open. So I don't anticipate anything different. We're going to pour right down the center and see what type of carbonation we get. Low carbonation, what you got, your standard stout, nothing overly crazy, nothing weird. Nice dark chocolate color. But no, looks good. Looks like your standard stout.
Yep, just like the others.
Alrighty, let's get a little nose on this thing.
Quick swirl.
Okay.
So,
I definitely smell vanilla.
yes.
It's
and
there.
from the other bourbon barrel-aged stouts that we've had in the past in previous videos, this is kind of more the standard what I kind of expect. It's definitely a heavy dose of vanilla. It has a bit of a sweet taste, but not overly sweet or anything.
The vanilla is way more prominent on the nose in this than the chocolate or even the bourbon was on the base beer.
This is the first beer I think we're trying out of the series that smells like how you anticipate it's going to taste.
Agreed, 100%. Well, let's give this thing a shot.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. That's so good.
Ross, this is the first beer we've had on this channel where I'm blown away. like at least blown away from the expectation.
Yes, I would agree. And so good. The vanilla taste it's prominent, but it's not overpowering. It's got a nice sweet, creamy taste to it.
Oh my God.
But you still get some of that bourbon-y, that high ABV.
I feel like this is the kind of beer that, as much as you want to cellar it because you want to enjoy it, like a year from now,
It's hard.
don't cellar this because that vanilla flavor is going to dissipate. Like, being only a couple of months in, right? It's February. This was released on December 12th.
So we're less than 2 months from...
Less than 2 months.
Less than 2 months when it was released.
From when it was released.
So probably... So it's been aging for 6 months. So this was aging since... What, July? June?
Yeah, July.
Math?
July, August-ish. 6 months. 6 December minus 6.
Leave the math in the comments.
Hey,
let us know.
Let us know what you think. But, I mean, the reality of this is you get vanilla on the nose, not a ton, but you definitely get it in the palate of this beer. Boom.
Yeah.
It's vanilla.
No, I love what you said earlier. Like, this is not a beer... Like, we love to cellar and age beer and see how it tastes down the road. You don't want to lose the vanilla taste on this one. It's so good. It's so prominent, and it's just...
This makes me so excited for the
This
rest
is so
of it.
good, yeah.
Oh, man. I'm impressed. Well done, Third Space. Yeah. This is good.
Yeah.
I'm throwing this in Untappd, and in this series, just based on what we've seen so far, at a 4.75. This is one of my favorite beers that we've reviewed on this channel. I would drink this all day long. I'm putting it at a 4.75.
It's hard to argue, and I don't want to disagree with you from an Untappd standpoint. I guess I'm going to be a little weird here and give myself some wiggle room because I don't know what's next. I'm going to do a 4.5 for now.
Okay.
But that's a close to a 4.6, 4.7, but I'm going to leave it at 4.5 and give myself some room to see what's next because of the fact this has just been growing and growing and growing. I went from the base to the chocolate to here. I'm very excited for what's next. I'm very excited for the next 3, but yeah, well done, Third Space. This is spot on. This is so good.
Excellent. So where can you find this stuff? ThirdSpaceBrewing.com. A few of these are still available. Not all of the 6 variants in this series are available. For example, number 1, the base, has not been out and available for a while. I know for a fact that like some of the more recent ones, like the Mocha Pie, the number 6 in this series, just released today on February, what is it? The 6th? On February 6th. So, dating ourselves in the video, but that just released today. Several other variants are still available on their website. So if you're interested, check out ThirdSpaceBrewing.com. They've got some great stuff out there. Some of this is still available, but not all of it.
Yeah.
Other than that, keep tuned in. We've got another video coming with the final 3 variants of this series. We've been waiting to do this for quite a while.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 more variants in this series coming next. Stay tuned for that. Outside of that, check us out on Untappd, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We've got all our pages going. Wisconsin Beer Wednesday. Hey, check us out there. We're reviewing stuff every Wednesday, or at least throwing our thoughts up on our Twitter page. Outside of that, like and comment here on YouTube. Let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you think of these beers if you've had them. Outside of that, we're kind of looking forward to continuing on this series and continuing to bring some of this great stuff
for the second half
from
of
Wisconsin into our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think. Let us know your thoughts, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
Have a good one.
So you have the base beer. What is the difference between the base and the end? So this is just the base is just a bourbon barrel aged stout.
It's their Imperial Stout bourbon barrel.
And so now it's
no adjuncts.
So what we're doing is, I should have actually thought about this beforehand, is they have the barrel aged version, and then they're adding chocolate.
Yep.
And then they're just taking the base, adding vanilla.
Yep.
Taking base, adding malt. Okay. All right.
Yeah, as we go through.
That makes more sense. So I don't know what I was thinking. But
What the did you think they
I
were
don't
doing?
know. I don't think I had a thought.